Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you, wherever you are in your different time zone around the world and across the country. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. It's 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning on out there in Tokyo, Japan. Friday morning in Tokyo, Japan. It's 10 a.m. Tokyo, Japan, and 1 a.m. in London town. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. How are you? My name is Frank Allan, and welcome to another edition of Talk Back Live. We're here every Thursday, as usual, bringing you some great conversation. And of course, we have all kinds of great stuff. We engage you because we want you to talk to us. That's why we call it Talk Back Live, so we could all have this verbal intercourse together. And if you have something to say, we would love to hear from you. All you have to do is just type in, and I will see you right there on the big screen, and I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas and all of your questions, whatever you may have. And that's all coming here. And of course, we invite you to invite your friends as well. We come from all over the world. We're all over the world, no matter where you're watching. You can be watching us on Facebook. You can be watching us on YouTube and Instagram. But if you're watching us on Facebook, what you want to do right now is tag all of your friends. I know you have a lot of friends, so tag them right now, tag them, send this show to them, and they can be part of us each week, just like you. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, you guys who are watching us on Instagram, of course, all you have to do is follow us each week. But we thank you guys for being with us. And like I said, we're going to be here for the next hour. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And again, whatever kind of questions, or if you just want to say hi, we would love to hear from you. A lot of you guys like to sit idle, but that's okay. You know, just as long as you're here. And if you can't spend the entire hour with us, we would appreciate whatever time you can spend with us. But we hope that you can sit back and relax and enjoy the show. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the air right now, so let's get started with the show. We've got so much to do, so much to talk about later on in the program. Brian Camp will be along with us with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's going to bring us all of those great things, and we're going to talk a lot of sports. Sports coming up, yeah, we'll talk about it. And before you know it, baseball will be around the corner, and we'll be talking about that. But Brian also, hopefully, he'll be talking about the latest developments with the baseball talks. And we have to see if we're going to see if we get baseball in this season. We'll have to see about that. But Brian will give us all that information when he comes in, and that'll be not too far away, right in this very hour, right at the top of this hour, not too far away. So stay with us. Boy, it's been some kind of a day. It's really been some kind of a day. Do you know, here in New York City, yesterday, it seemed like, it felt like springtime. It felt exactly like springtime. We went up to around 60 degrees. Now that's pretty warm for this time of the season. And we were out there, I was watching people with their shorts and their t-shirts, and they're jogging along, and everything is all fine. And oh boy, but here's something else. This is something that you didn't know, because it seemed like a dream. Tonight, here in New York City, this is only for New York City now, because I don't know what it's like in your part of the country or part of the cities or wherever you are, what your weather is like. But we are looking, we've got a snowstorm watch coming along. Now, this will be our second one. I don't know how heavy it's going to be. We have to see about that. But tonight we're supposed to be getting some snow mixed with rain. So it'll be that black ice, that slushiness, all of that coming around. And the morning commute is not going to be so good. So we're going to have to watch out for that. We're going to see how that develops. The point I'm trying to make is when we had that spring weather yesterday, and everybody was out there, the sun was bright, everything was good. Sun was bright, people jogging, people walking, people having a good time. I'm surprised no one hit the beach, but it was too cold for that. But all of those same people who are out there, right? And their short sleeve shirts and their short shorts and all of that, I bet you they bundled up warm today. Now, me for one, I don't let it fool me, all right? So I go out there, of course. I go out like everyone else. And when I went out yesterday, I dressed up. I had my regular warm jacket, sweater, also had my muffler, I put around my neck. And when I woke up that morning, it was like 61 degrees. Yesterday, it was 61 degrees outside. So that's pretty warm, but I didn't want to take a chance. I didn't know what's 61 degrees. When I went out there, it was kind of warm. So I took the muffler off, put it in my bag, but I kept the coat on, the sweater and all of that, because you don't want to overdress. You don't want to underdress. You get sick either way. So you don't want all of that. And so that's what I did. But while everyone else was out there jogging, and of course they had their jackets off, their sweat clothes on, and shorts, short sleeve shirts, all of that. But that's another story. But I hope they don't get sick, because I'm doing my best not to. So you don't want to change with the weather. Everybody is excited. Everybody wants that warm weather to come in, that summertime, summer fun weather. I'm looking forward myself because I hate cold weather. I hate the winter, and I'm looking forward to myself. But at the same time, I want to be sensible. I want to make sure that I don't catch cold. And you can catch cold very easily by changing with the weather. So you don't change with the weather. You kind of like feel it out. Feel it out. You'll know when it's time to shed those clothes. And I'm like the rest of you guys too. I want the summertime to come in. I want to shed my clothes. I want to dress cool. But that's what they were doing yesterday. But again, we got that weather coming in, that cold weather. It's all coming in. And hey, listen, I'm looking forward to it. And I would say in about, maybe a couple of months from now, March is practically here. And I'm thinking maybe April, you at that particular point, you slowly but surely, shed the clothes, surely but surely, but we didn't get around to that yet. So please, ladies and gentlemen, don't get sick on me. Don't get sick. I want to say hello over there to, my cousin out there, Jay. Hey, Jay, how you doing? Thumbs up to you. And he's watching us on internet, right? Jay is watching us on internet. And I may say, to be more precise, he's watching us on Instagram. So howdy to you. And the rest of you guys, and I see a lot of you guys coming in on Facebook, and you're saying hi. Say hi to you guys, thumbs up. You're giving me the emojis, all the emojis and all that, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever it is. But I would definitely like to hear from you. So if you have anything to say, please feel free. If you have any questions about the show, we'll be glad to answer your questions all at once. And all you have to do is, like I said, just type it in. I will see your name right there on the big screen, and I will entertain your thoughts and ideas. So as I said, Brian Kemp will be here in just a few minutes, and with the latest developments in today's world of sports. In the meantime, folks, did you get vaccinated yet? Well, here's something. I talk about it. I always talk about it. And I talk about it because I believe in it. And a lot of you may not want to talk about it. A lot of you saying, well, I'm really tired of this. I'm tired of wearing the mask. I'm tired of social distancing. So am I. So am I. And we're going to get to the point where we don't have to do all of that. As a matter of fact, in New York here, our mayor said that in a couple of months, maybe about, a few weeks, maybe no, not a couple of months. He said in a couple of weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, he's going to make sure that the mandate, slows down. They have a mandate now. They broke the mandate in restaurants, some restaurants and bars. Some are still following it, where you don't have to go on with a mask, but you want to do it on the safe side. But he wants to get to the point, which we all do, is make sure that we walk down the street and we could see each other. We could see smiles and all of that. I miss that. I miss smiling at people, and you can't tell if they're smiling at you or not. The only way you can tell is by the eyes. You don't see the teeth or anything like that. But anyway, our mayor is looking forward to us, calming things down. And it seems like a lot of things are calming down as far as the pandemic is concerned, at least here in New York. Now, I'm not sure about Florida. I'm not sure about the status in Florida because they had a high rate in Florida at one time, and they were known for that. If anybody lives in Florida and you're out there, you may want to talk about it. I would love to know about it. I'm not sure of the status just yet, but we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the day where we don't have to pull the mask off. We don't have to social distance. We can still hug and all of that. I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, though, proceed with caution. Continue to wear your mask if you have to. Like if you're going on public transportation, of course, you're going to want to wear your mask, right? Public transportation, they want you to do that. They want you to wear your mask. You're flying, you're going to have to wear your mask. Whatever you're doing, you're going to have to wear your mask. You go into some places, some bar or some restaurant or something like that, they're going to ask you to wear your mask. Some. As I said, here in New York, they kind of lift the mandate, so there's certain places where you don't have to. But in the meantime, there are other places that they still enforce it. But just to be on the safe side, you don't have to pull your mask all the way together. Now, if you're walking down the street, for instance, right? Because I got to the point where, a lot of people are still wearing their mask even while they're walking down the street. I take it little by little. It's like salami. You take a little bit at a time, right? You cut off a little bit at a time. And so, when you walk down the street, and of course, you want to make sure that there's a lot of people are not around you. Make sure there's a lot of people that are not around you, right? You want to make sure of that. And of course, when they're walking down the street and you're by yourself, of course, you can drop your mask a little bit, but keep it handy. You might want to keep it handy because that's what they're looking for. Keep it all handy. And when you do, take the time to tell your friends too. Same thing, you see somebody coming, pull your mask up. You get on public transportation, pull it down. Now, I'm saying all of that. So here's the deal. Here's the deal on that. We have places to go to get vaccinated. Now, if you haven't been vaccinated yet, you might want to do that. You want to get vaccinated, you might want to do that. And I think what you want to do is go on Google, find a place where you can go to get vaccinated, because there's a lot of places in your area that you want to go and get vaccinated. There's a lot of places, right? Your doctor may have a supply of the vaccine, and you already know we have 3 different kinds of vaccines on the market. We have the Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J. We have all of that. And so you go to these places where they have, and even if you go to a pharmacist, your favorite pharmacist, they have a dose. Now, if you haven't been vaccinated at all, please get vaccinated. If you're not fully vaccinated, get fully vaccinated. Now, with the Moderna and the Pfizer, it takes 2 shots for vaccinations for fully vaccinated people. All right. Now, 6 months after that, that's when you should be boosted. Now, if you're taking J&J, Johnson & Johnson, the first shot is fully vaccinated. And then 2 weeks after that, or is it 2 months? 2 weeks, 2 months. 2 months after that, then you go and get your booster shot. And that takes care of all of that. Now, I want to get to the people who are not vaccinated yet. Those are the people I want to get next to. Those are the people I want to get next to. If you're not vaccinated, please get vaccinated. You're helping us out. You're helping your friends. You're helping your family. Your husbands, your wives, your sisters, your brothers, your daughters, your sons, cousins, aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, and especially the people who are older, you want to make sure that they're safe too, because, they get at a certain age, and a lot of them, of course, may have underlying conditions, and you don't want that to trigger on that. And, and there's a lot of public buildings you go to. Just for instance, I went to my doctor today, which is a routine thing for me, want to stay on top of the health. You go into the building, they want you to wear your mask. And before you even go up on the floor, they take your temperature. They put you in front of this camera, and it reads you, and it shows you your temperature. And if your temperature is normal, of course, you're going to go up there to see your doctor, So that's what I did today. But again, ladies and gentlemen, please do that. I think it's a very important thing. I think it helps you, it helps me, It helps your next door neighbor and everybody around you. So please do that. We'll talk more about that later. Right now, I'm going to go to Charlotte, North Carolina right now because Brian Camp is here and he's got the latest developments in today's world of sports. Brian, you know something here in New York. And as you already know, because we talked about it already, we had a bright sunny day, but we also had warm temperatures. And tonight we have a snowstorm alert. I don't think a snowstorm, but we have some kind of alert going on.
Oh, do I miss New York City now?
I don't think you do.
I don't think so, but it's crazy. I mean, yeah, it's crazy how New York is and the Northeast is getting hit hard with some strange weather. You can't call it Indian summer weather, but it's wintertime. So I guess it's supposed to be like this, you know?
Yeah, but a lot of people I know, I mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of people who have been out in that weather yesterday, they were out there and they had their shorts and their short sleeve shirts and they were dressed like, and I'm thinking to myself, you know something, I'm going to pray for these people because I don't want anyone to get sick. That's a good way to get sick.
A lot of people wear shorts out here though, you know, it doesn't make it.
But you see where you are, I mean, the temperatures are, you know, you're not in frigid weather.
No, I'm not, but you know, it's that people anywhere in the Northeast, they still wear shorts all year round. They got the Polar Bear Club. I mean, you know about that, you know, in Coney Island. So, they believe, you know, in wearing hardly nothing. I mean, if you go to a football game in 5-degree weather, you see a lot of these here fans bare skin with their rooting for their team, and they don't have anything. But then again, when you drink alcohol at these here games, they don't feel anything at all. So
yeah.
Yeah. So, but good evening to you, to everybody out there who's tuning in. It is 61 degrees out here. It was a pleasant day. It was in the 70s today. Tomorrow is going to be 75 degrees. So it's going to be we're having some nice weather. I hope and pray that the people in New York, I still get family like you and friends, you know, just be safe out there with the weather. As you know, we're in the middle of possibly a third war, a world war, I see. You know, that's an unfortunate thing. And but life goes on. So we just go straight ahead. So, but let me get to the sports. Right now, I tell you right now, in Major League Baseball, you know, it may not be no sports, no baseball. It announced spring training games won't begin until at least March 5th. That was last week. Owners locked out the players in December after the deadline because after the last collective bargain agreement expired, they decided they're going to just, okay, there's a possibility that we're not going to have it. Now, negotiations for a new agreement haven't been close at all. Last week, talks broke off, but just after 15 minutes, they came in for 15 minutes. I guess they had some coffee and some donuts and said, no, this is not going to work. And they ended up a meeting. Now, talks between the league and the players union should intensify this week, which it has, but no movement. The deadline to start the regular season is in jeopardy. Now, Major League Baseball labor talks to extend for tomorrow. They're going to talk tomorrow, and Monday is the deadline to cancel regular season games and to shorten the season and have less than of the 162 scheduled games. As of right now, there's zero progress has been made on both sides. So now, if there would be a stoppage, I'm not saying it will be, if there will be a stoppage, games will not be made up and players will not be paid in full season salaries. So who's going to budge first? Usually the owners win in baseball, that is. In other sports, it's not so much that, because the owners, they're very powerful when it comes to stuff like this. So let's see what happens. In NBA, as you know, they had the 75th anniversary of the greatest players to assemble ever. So they named a lot of the players that was there. They added on 25 names. You know, a couple of years back, 5 years ago, they did the 50th anniversary. 25 years ago, I'm sorry. And now it's here we are, 75th anniversary, and they added the top 75 names. So check your listings. I can't name them all, but that's what they had the slam dunk contest, which was horrible. Everybody's mentioned it. It's just not the same anymore with the 3-point shot. But it was entertaining with the highlights of the halftime, and the stars was there. Mary J. Blige made another appearance. Wow, she did back-to-back. She did the Super Bowl, and now she did the All-Star game. So congratulations to her. NFL football. Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin announced that the hiring of Brian Flores. We all remember who Brian Flores is, right? He is the one that's suing the NFL and 3 teams he's going to be as a defensive assistant and linebackers. Now, Brian Flores, who's 40 years old, has filed a lawsuit against the NFL and the New York Giants, the Miami Dolphins, and the Denver Broncos this month, alleging discrimination in an interview process in the lawsuit. Flores allegedly, among other things, had said that the Miami Dolphins owner, which is his former boss, Stephen Ross, offered him $100,000 for every game that he loses, and just in order to get a top draft pick. So, as you know, coaches don't want to tank games, because when you tank a game, which means that you purposely want to lose by sitting down your best players, what happens is that their job become in jeopardy. So, but early this week, Brian Flores declined. He was on Brian Gumbel, Inside Sports on HBO, declined to sign a separation agreement presented by team owner Stephen Ross, who I just mentioned. Flores states that by signing that separation agreement, it would have silenced him totally, but not signing the separation agreement. Flores leaves millions of dollars on the table and granted Flores the freedom to talk about his treatment in Miami. So it's not about the money with him. It's not about the money, which I give him so much credit, because he's leaving a lot of money on the table. But he was trying to be paid off to keep his mouth shut. He says, no, thank you. I'm going to go with this suit. Plus, he's able to work while he's suing, that's the main reason why he did not sign that separation agreement, because he wants to go with this discrimination lawsuit, and that's why he's doing it. So that's why he's, in the position where he's at. We don't know when is the next step, but it's coming. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. NCAA basketball, Michigan men's basketball team, Juwan Howard has been suspended for 5 games remaining of the regular season and fined $40,000 for hitting Wisconsin assistant coach Joe Krapanoff in the face. He slapped in the face on Sunday's game. Now, what happened was the game was between Michigan and Wisconsin. Wisconsin had the game in hand. They was going to win the game, but then a timeout was called with just a couple of seconds left. And if you know anything about sports, a lot of coaches hate that. Why are you calling timeout? Why are you prolonging the game? Why prolong the agony? And he calls a timeout. So what they do in college basketball, after the game is over, they go through the shake line hand with the coaches shaking hands and then the players right behind them. But this time, Juwan Howard from Michigan, whose team lost, pushed head coach Greg Gog, pushed his hand. The fight broke out. It was pandemonium. Everybody was fighting. The players was fighting. The coaches was fighting. So he could have lost his job, but he got what he got was a 5-game suspension, which is the end of the regular season. And the other coaches did not get suspended, but they got fined though. So they got fined because Juwan Howard was the one that threw the punch or the slap. If you ever saw the highlights, you've seen that he did connect with the assistant coach. So that's where we stand. So right now, they're going to meet again. But he's able to keep his job. So this day in sports, February 24th, 1968, Gary Unger begins the National Hockey League's consecutive game record of 914 games. Wow. 1978, Kevin Porter, New Jersey Nets, sets an NBA record for 29 assists in a game. I think that record still stands. 1980, remember the 1980 Winter Olympics? The U.S. hockey team clinches the gold medal with a 4-2 win over Finland at Lake Placid, New York. That's where the Winter Olympics was. It comes right after the Miracle on Ice when the U.S., the United States of America, defeated the Soviet Union. You've probably seen that many times when it was unheard of the Americans ever beating the Soviet Union in hockey. But that was one of the greatest upsets in sports history, and it happened in the Olympics. And then the next night, the U.S. capped it off with beating Finland 4-2 to capture the gold medal. 1982, the Boston Celtics began an 18 NBA game winning streak. That was in 82. 1987, LA Lakers center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scored his 36,000th NBA point in a 97-93 win over the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. And in 2020, that was 2 years ago, a memorial service for NBA star Kobe Bryant held at the Staples Centers in Los Angeles. Is no longer called the Staples Center. Is called Krypton.com. And Kobe Bryant just died 2 years ago in that terrible helicopter crash that claimed his wife, claimed himself, and it claimed his daughter and 7 other people who passed away or died tragically in that crash. And that's sports.
Oh, I want to just backtrack about the brawling, because everybody's brawling now. It's not just players anymore.
Oh yeah, everybody's
like you say, the coaches, everybody's brawling now.
Yeah, Russia fighting with Ukraine. Yeah, but that's at war. So yeah, everybody's brawling. Yeah.
I mean, we got so many. We got a lot of fights going on here. We've got it's in sports. We've got this thing in Ukraine, which I'm going to be talking about a little later on. But I used to, when I was a kid, I used to go to baseball games. And I remember back in those days, they used to brawl on the field. But I've never been to a game, basketball, football, any kind of those games where the players brawl. I've never been to one of those games. But I would imagine, some people, when they go to these games, they thrive off of that because they say, oh, something, I can get 2 for the price of 1. I can get a fight and a game at the same time.
Well, that's why in sports, in baseball, they don't sell beer or alcohol after the 7th inning because they cut it down because one of the reasons, because, you get a couple of drinks, you get a little juicy, you're going to say the wrong thing to the player, and maybe it's somebody's wife that's sitting next to you. And or you can say the wrong things to the person next to you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have seen some videos on Facebook where they showed in the stands, I guess because everybody's on camera now, everybody has a camera. And they had they in the stands, 2 guys got into a fight in the stands while the game was going on. What a distraction.
Yeah, it is. It is. Can't we all just get along? I mean, on the side though, I know you're going to touch on it later, but this is worrying a lot of people. It affects the United States because of gas prices and 401ks and 457k. So, we just got to try to find a way to get through this here. We get through everything else and we will get through this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, listen. So what's on key for tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I'm going to try to do sports. If not, I just mail it in. I'll let you know something early tomorrow morning. And we're going to have beautiful weather. I could tell you that. It's going to be 75 degrees tomorrow with the sunshine. So I might wear my shorts,
Just don't come to New York wearing shorts.
I'll probably take a picture in my backyard of myself and by my smoker and with a with a bottle of water and just send it out to New York on Facebook and just say, hey, everybody, how's everybody doing?
That's a good idea, because what I might do, if the weather's that bad tomorrow, I'm going to take a picture of the elements outside and put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I guess we can share all of those thoughts,
Oh, yeah.
those.
Yeah. But all joking aside, be safe out there in New York. You know, we don't know. It may not be as bad as they say it is, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I hope not.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, because hopefully I'll catch you out here tomorrow.
Okay. Yes. I'll let you know.
Okay. Take
Good
care.
night.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And of course, he's here with us every week. Every week he's with us. And we thank him for being here. And hopefully he'll be here tomorrow, along with DJP. We'll have the 2020 feature. Brian is always here 20 after the hour with sports, and DJP 20 to the hour with entertainment news. So I know DJP will be here. I talked to him earlier this week. He's going to be here. So we have to keep our fingers crossed to hope Brian will be here. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allen, and I'm with you for the balance of the show. We're going to be here up until the top of the hour. And as I said, we're here every week. Of course, you, me, and we have a little conversation together, all of us. And so we thank you all for being along. If you want to engage, I want to say hi to you. That's why we call it Talk Back Live. I want to say hi to you. So if you're out there idle, that's okay. But if you're so inclined to say hi, we would love to say hi to you guys. We'll say hi to you guys on Facebook. All of you guys out there watching us on YouTube and Instagram too. They're out there too. So thank you guys for your support. And we thank you for that. Listen, if you want to get in touch with me personally, other than here, and if you have a comment, you want to say something about the show or anything like that, we would be glad to have you aboard. We'd be glad to, to do that, right? So all you have to do is get in touch with me. I have two sources for you to get in touch with me. I have an email address and a telephone number. By the way, if you're watching us on Facebook, under my picture, you see up there where the chat area is, under my picture, all of that information is there. And the information I want to give you right now is my email address and my telephone number. So I'll give you my email address first. Email address is frankallanprod@aol.com. Frank Allan, ALLAN prod, PROD. That stands for production. That's short for production. frankallanprod@aol.com. Or you can call me at 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. You can get in touch with me. You can leave a message, or you can email me if you have a comment, or even if you just want to say hi, that's well and good too. We would love to do it. Just like Kevin Briscoe, he says hi, so hi to you. Hey, listen, we watch each other's show. We watch each other's show. I watch his show, he watches my show. Kevin Briscoe and I used to work together at a radio station. We're radio people. I'm yet retired, but he's still there. He's holding up the fort, because someone has to do it. And he says he's watching you while enjoying a fine tobacco product. Now, I was going to mention that. What way to watch Talk Back Live? I couldn't think of a better way for Kevin Briscoe to watch Talk Back Live and have a great smoke, and maybe a little libation on the side. Up to you. As long as you enjoy. Hey, that's why I say life is worth living. So you live it your way. Enjoy it. You don't knock yourself out, but enjoy life. That's what we're put here for, to enjoy life. And everyone has their own little way of enjoying life. Kevin loves a fine tobacco, a fine smoke, and maybe a little drink or two, and great conversation with people. You got to know this guy. One of the finest people I've ever met in my travels in radio. And we were working at, what was it, Kevin? WNYC. And he was there when I got there, and he's still there. I'm not there anymore, and he's still there. He saw me come in. He saw me come to the revolving door. He saw me coming in and he saw me going out. And he said to me, I saw you come in and you're going to go out before me. I did. But I managed to stay in radio anyway. I enjoyed it there. And not just Kevin, but there was a lot of people there working at the WNYC radio that I enjoy very much. And I think at the time, I'm not sure the ownership right now, but at the time when I was there, the city had owned the station. I'm not sure, Kevin, I don't think they own it anymore. I think it's independent now. But yeah, when I was there, the city of New York owned the station. And I had a good time working there. Through my travels in radio, I had some good times and bad times, as we all do in radio and TV. We all have them. A lot of people say, oh, you got the best job in the world. You don't have to do anything. That's what you think. We actually work. Yeah, so I was right about that. The city doesn't own it anymore. The city sold out. And now it's an independent station, and they're still doing very well. And because when I was working there, we were working, they don't work at the location. When I was there, they don't work in that same location for it. And I worked in, if anybody knows New York, downtown near the Brooklyn Bridge is the municipal building. And we used to work in there. That's an old building. And you go in there, it's like ancient. And you go in there, we had, at the time I was, and I'm going to make Kevin laugh about this. I'm going to make Kevin laugh about this. When we used to go in there, you had to come out of it. When you came out of the elevator and came through the glass door, you were over there near the terminal room, which is where I worked. The terminal room controls everything. I controlled everything. I control Studio 1, Studio B, or A, or whatever it was. All of those studios came through me. If I wanted to be, if I wanted to be a wise guy, all I had to do was switch a button. If I didn't like what the guy was saying on the air, boom. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that because then you want to be professional. But anyway, the whole thing is that I controlled everything. And but yeah, that's how it was back then. But yeah, Rudolph Giuliani, who was the mayor at the time, sold the station. So yeah, great history. I'm pretty sure there's more I don't know about. I'll always consult Kevin about it, but he's still working there and everybody's fine. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's that time. It's that time. On this day in history, here we go. On this day in history in 1911, Japan and the US concluded a treaty that continues restriction on Japanese laborers. On this day in history, 1921 was the first transcontinental flight in 24 hours flying time arrives in Florida. On this day in history in 1940, Francis Langford records the tune When You Wish Upon a Star. On this day in history, 1942, the Voice of America, speaking of radio, begins broadcasting in German and other languages too. On this day in history, 1944, Minister of War Juan Perot leads a coup in Argentina. On this day in history, 1945, Egypt and Syria declare war on Nazi Germany. On this day in history, 1946, again, General Juan Perot, this time first elected president of Argentina. On this day in history, 1955, Silk Stockings opened at the Imperial Theater in New York City for 461 performances. Also back in 1955, which was a marvelous year, the 12th Golden Globes on the Waterfront with Marlon Brando and Judy Garland. Was she? I didn't remember seeing Judy Garland in that movie, but that's what it says here. I don't remember seeing that. Kevin, am I wrong about that? I don't know. Anyway, they both win. On this day in history in 1964, My Heart Skips a Beat, a single released by Buck Owens, made Billboard #1 in the USA and Hot Country Singles in 1964. On this day in history, 1965, the Beatles begin filming Help in the Bahamas. Back in 1968, US troops conquer Hue, Vietnam. In 1969, the 26 Golden Globes, The Lion in Winter, starring Peter O'Toole and Joanne Woodward, they win the nomination. In 1969, the prime of Miss Jean Brodie, a film based on a novel by Murrow Spark, and it was directed by Ronald Name, and it starred Maggie Smith, who made the Academy Award Best Actress. That premiered in London. In 1970, KVDO TV, Channel 3 in Selma, Oregon, that's an independent station, they began broadcasting. Back in 1977, US President Jimmy Carter announces US foreign aid will consider human rights. In 1977, the 12th Academy of Country Music Awards go to Mickey Gilley and Crystal Gayle. They were the winners. In 1981, Britain's Prince Charles announces engagement to Lady Diana Spencer. In 1981, Gene Harris is convicted of murdering Scarsdale diet doctor Herman Tarnow. Back in 1981, the earthquake registering 6.7 on the Richter scale hits Athens, killing 16 people and destroying buildings in several towns west of the city. Back in 1983, a special commission of the US Congress released a report that condemns the practice of Japanese internment during World War II. Back in 1984, Iraq resumes air attack on Iran. Back in 1985, actor Yul Brynner reprises his role in King and I, The King and I. In 1989, or I should say, I'm sorry, 1986, Texas Air buys Eastern Airlines for $676 million. Back in 1987, the 29th Grammy Awards, Higher Love, and Graceland goes to Bruce Hornsby. That was a great song, Higher Love. Give me a higher love. Okay, 1987, radio personality Larry King suffers a heart attack. Back in 1989, stalker Margaret Ray, I remember this one well, stalker Margaret Ray found David Letterman's home, claims to be his wife. Boy, that must have been chilling, bone chilling for him. But I heard that David, he wasn't even nervous about it. To each his own. I probably would have been able to sleep. In 1989, US Boeing 747 loses parts of its roof over the Pacific Nine. 9 people died. Later, the event was made into a TV movie called Miracle Landing in 1990. That was a great movie, a chilling movie. As a matter of fact, I went into my movie icon to check it out, And actually, it wasn't 1989, it was 1988. So I just want to clarify that. It was 1988 when that incident happened. And the roof was torn off the plane. And that was scary. The movie was scary itself. But things get better. Okay, in 1991, Those Were the Days closed at the Edison Theater in New York City after 226 performances. In 1993, the 35th Grammy Awards, Tears in Heaven goes to Eric Clapton. He was the winner. In 1998, Elton John was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II, Buckingham Palace, and that's when he was knighted. Now he's Sir Elton John. And I must add something, speaking of being knighted. I don't know if a lot of you knew, and since this is Black History Month, it's worth talking about, that Sidney Poitier, actor Sidney Poitier, the late, great Sidney Poitier, was knighted by the Queen. Did you know that? He was knighted by the Queen. He was Sir Sidney Poitier. He just never used the term Sir. Okay, 1999, the 41st Grammy Awards. Was the song My Heart Will Go On, and that was the theme song from the Titanic, done by Lauryn Hill, and she was the winner on that one. In 2008, Fidel Castro retires as president of Cuba due to his health after nearly 50 years. In 1921, actor Abe Vigoda, who starred in Bonnie Miller and The Godfather, and also he had his own sitcom called Fish, and he was born in New York City. He passed away 2016. In 1922, actor Stephen Hill of Mission Impossible and Law and Order was born in Seattle, Washington. He passed away 2016. 1941, singer and actress Joni Summers celebrates a birthday today. What a marvelous voice she has. She's 81 today. Happy birthday, Joni. 1947, actor Edward James Olmos. He was born on this day in Los Angeles, California. He's 75 today. Those of you who doesn't know who he is, I'll throw out one for you. He played the father of Selena with Jennifer Lopez on that movie Selena. He played the father. 1959, actress Beth Broderick, who played Aunt Zelda on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She was born on this day. Happy birthday. She was born in Falmouth, Kentucky. She's 63 today. Happy birthday to her. In 1992, singer, songwriter Courtney Love. She wed singer Kurt Cobain in Waikiki Beach in Honolulu in Hawaii. And finally, not finally, but 1990, singer Johnny Ray. He dies of liver cancer at the age of 61. Publisher Malcolm Ford dies on this day in 1990 at the age of 70 due to a heart attack. He was born August 19th, 1919 in Brooklyn, New York. Dinah Shore was passed away on this day in 1994 at the age of 76. And she had complications of ovarian cancer. She was born March 1st, 1917 in Winchester, Tennessee. Winchester, Tennessee. Say the words. Winchester, Tennessee. There she goes. Okay. 2006, actor Don Knotts of the Andy Griffith Show and Three's Company. He died of lung cancer at the age of 81. And finally, actor Dennis Weaver dies at the age of 81 as well. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are what we have this day in history. This day in history. If you have any places or things or events that happen on this day in history, let us know, and we'll let you know about that right there. We'll let you know all about that, right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan, and thank you so much for being with us on this. Well, for us, it's going to be a gloomy, because we got a winter storm watch in effect here in New York City. Batten down the hatchets. That's what I say. Anyway, we hope wherever you are, it's going to be better off. Kevin, you're going to enjoy the weather too along with me, because if I have to enjoy it, you're going to have to enjoy it as well. So wherever you are, I hope your weather is better, wherever it is, wherever you are. And those of you, we're all around the world, all over the place. No matter where you go around the world, we're going to be there right with you. All you have to do is tune in. We're right there on Facebook. We're right there on YouTube. We're right there on Instagram. And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to us. Please do that. If you're a member of Facebook and you're watching us on Facebook, what we want you to do is to, well, you have a few minutes left, whatever's left, you can tag your friends, bring them in. You can tag this show to your friends and they'll come in and they'll watch. But we're glad that you're out there. And those of you who would like to engage in conversation, we're always happy to have you along with us. If you're just there idle and you just want to watch, that's okay too. But what we want you to do too is tell your friends about the show so they can tune in each week. We're on every Thursday between 8 and 9 p.m. And again, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So there you have it. I didn't tell you, but I should have mentioned it early. We have those movies that you like. Now, you know all of those movies that you like. You love those old classic movies, right? Movies that take you back. Movies that you remember so well. Movies that jog your memory. We've got them, right? It's all on Turner Classic Movies. Now, every week, as you already know, I give you my picks of the week, right? All the picks of the week, only my picks, all right? Now, there may be more on there that you may like, but hold on, and I'll tell you how you can do it. Right now, let's start with Some Like It Hot, back in 1959 with Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Marilyn Monroe. That's on Turner Classic Movies. That comes on this Sunday at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's on Turner Classic Movie. And I'm not going to tell you the contents of the movie. That's why I'm giving you the name of the movie so you can watch it. So that's, again, that's on the Sunday afternoon at 3:45 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies, Some Like It Hot. In commemoration of Black History Month, this is the last week. We're falling out to the last week of it. So I must say that Malcolm X is coming on. Malcolm X starring Denzel Washington. A great movie, Spike Lee direction, Spike Lee's movie, and then Denzel Washington. Spike Lee is also in it, but Denzel Washington, he's the character of Malcolm X. And that's coming on this Sunday as well. What a great time to have it on this Sunday. It's a 1992 movie. Comes on Turner Classic Movies at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's ironic that I say Sunday. It's a great time to watch it on a Sunday, which it is. Because if you remember, back in 1965, when Malcolm X was assassinated, he was assassinated on a Sunday. He died on a Sunday, right? And so this is kind of like a memorabilia kind of thing. It's kind of like brings you back, you know, at the Audubon Ballroom, which is now a museum. I understand. I haven't been there since they transformed it to a museum, but I have all intentions of going there to see it. And being that we're still into Black History Month, you can take a trip down there to see it for yourself here in New York. And it doesn't always have to be in Black History Month. It doesn't always have to be Black History Month. You can celebrate that anytime. But as long as you get down there to check it out, and maybe a lot of things that you haven't seen there. People are going over to the Schomburg Library there, and it's great. Now, Brian just informed me that Carmen Jones with Dorothy Dandridge and Harry Belafonte is on Sunday. Okay, now he's giving me different channels, which is good. Which is good. I like when, you know, you have other movies that you like to talk about. Good. So Carmen Jones, which is another favorite movie of mine, this one with Harry Belafonte and Dorothy Dandridge, that's Sunday at 7:40 a.m. on FX. I'm going to make sure I see that. I mean, I can watch it anytime because I have that in my archives. But 7:40 a.m. Now, if you're getting up, you're getting ready to go to church, all right, and you don't have time to watch it in real time, DVR it. And then when you come back home from church or wherever, whatever time you come back, whenever at your own convenience, then you can watch it then. You know, isn't that good that we have DVRs? That's good. New Orleans. Okay, New Orleans. I think this one was Billie Holiday, New Orleans. And this comes on Turner TMC. Isn't it TCM you're talking about? Friday at 6:15, TMC or TCM? I don't remember seeing it on TCM, but he has TMC here. New Orleans, Brian, if you want to straighten that out, is a Turner Classic Movie, TCM, not TMC. But anyway, in any event, and we want to make sure that's right. That's why I want Brian to clear that out. It's at 6:15 a.m. 6:15 a.m. New Orleans. I think that's what Billie Holiday is in that. Louis Armstrong. Yeah. Okay. And Louis Armstrong is in there too. I remember that. That's a great movie. I have that in my archives too. Louis Armstrong. That's Turner Classic Movies. Okay. That's at 6:15 a.m. and that's on a Friday. That's tomorrow. So if you're up that early and you care to watch it, you want to lie in bed and watch it, or if you don't, you want to get up, you got to go to work. Again, DVR it. DVR it. It's worth it. And it's a good movie too. I love all of those classic movies. So anybody else have classic movies they'd like to relay, I would, you know, be glad to do that for you. Thanks a lot, Brian. I really appreciate that. And so there you go. Now, as you already know, ladies and gentlemen, in the news, you know, there's only one source of news that everybody's following right now. It's not the news that we're used to. It's all bad news right now. And you already know that Russia has already invaded Ukraine. Everybody knows that. But before I talk about that, I just want to make one announcement too, that Lindsay Perlman, she was an actress and she played on General Hospital, and she played on a lot of other fine movies, starred on General Hospital. She passed away early this week at the age of 43. And that was after being reported missing. So that's all I have on her. Her name is Lindsay Perlman from General Hospital. She was only 43 years old. Okay, getting back to the war. And that's what it looks like here. Now, when I woke up this morning, well, let me start from the beginning. Before I went to bed last night, at 10 o'clock last night, which made it 5 a.m. Ukraine time, they heard shots at 5 a.m. Ukraine time. And they reported it on the news, and then as the day got older, there were more shots, and now it escalates to what we have right now. People woke up to this tragedy, to this war, to this invasion that Vladimir Putin fostered. And it was a sad thing to see, because a lot of people woke up, left their house, and looking for refuge. And the only refuge they could find are shelters. And they have in their area their transit system, their subway system. They were jam-packed in the subway. They took their whatever belongings they needed, they took those with them. They had their children with them. They had their pets with them. And they took everything and they went underground in the subway. All of the trains stopped running. Whatever trains were in the station, they cut out the lights. People went into the trains, into the subway cars, and just sat there. I'm not sure what it's like now as far as the shelter. Maybe they're still there, but the subways were jam-packed. They were jam-packed. I'm hoping that we're learning a lot from this, because while this is going on and we're all praying for these people, praying for the people from Ukraine, I'm praying for them. I'm hoping that, everything is going to be fine. I haven't heard about any casualties just yet, and I hope there are none. I hope that somehow some miracle like this would cease. Maybe overnight miracles do happen, but I'm just hoping, just praying that, for these people, that they can get back to their homes safely, So I'm hoping that all of us learn a lesson from this. And so that brings me to say, when you go out and vote, because now the midterms are here, right? Use your vote wisely. Now, a lot of people, while the majority of people are saying, this is bad, we got to pray for these people. On the other hand, there are people who are thriving off of this. I heard one person say, Vladimir Putin, that was genius, what you did. I don't know. I think that has to come from sort of like a psychological disturbed person to say something like that. That was genius, So when I say, be very careful when you go out and vote, and especially when we get to 2024, watch out, all right? Because you don't want to put anyone in office with that kind of attitude, all right? Saying it's genius, because that person may be the person that imitates Vladimir Putin, all right? So use your vote wisely, cast your vote, use it wisely. I'd like to say more about this, but we ran out of time. I'll say more in the coffee hour. How about that? Join me tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be here, and I hope you will be too. Brian Camp, hopefully he will be here, the 2020 feature, 20 after the hour for him, 2:20 to the hour with DJ Pete. They'll be here for the coffee hour. So meet me here bright and early. Other than that, I will be back here next week. Brian Camp will be here, more of the latest developments in today's world of sports. He'll be here, sports update. and conversation with all of us together. I hope that you'll be here too. We can conversate together and have a good time. So ladies and gentlemen, please, pray for those people, get vaccinated, pray for those people in Ukraine. Constantly pray for them. We're looking forward to them having a normal life and back to where they were before. Miracles do happen. I will see you guys here tomorrow, and take care. Have yourself a great morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and good night.